Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Savannah Kristine and today we are going to talk about how to read tarot cards. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this like just a spiritual gift that people have? Isn't this something that's passed down through family to family? The answer is yes and no. How do you read tarot cards? You just do it. So let me clarify that a little bit. Whenever I'm giving someone a reading, I usually talk about how I read cards for one, and also give them this little disclaimer. I usually say, pretend you're a customer. I'm not going to tell you something that you don't already know. Tarot cards for me are a tool to help you understand yourself, your patterns, your thoughts, your feelings, and therefore help you understand other people and their role in your life. The magic doesn't come from the pictures on the pieces of paper. The magic comes from you and I honestly connecting with each other and being open to new ideas and new patterns of thought. Now, with all of that said, it did take me a while to kind of get this mental clarity around tarot readings. When I was first reading tarot cards, I was kind of using them to kind of predict my own future, which, I truly believe that some people can use them like that, but it wasn't really effective for me. To use tarot cards is almost like a band-aid, so I didn't have to deal with my real problems in my life. However, now that I've gained this new clarity that I was talking about, I feel more confident in using them as a tool and using it to help myself and other people. So there's a lot of information of how you could read the cards, and most of it is pretty valuable. Today we're going to break down all of that information so you have a foundation for whenever you want to get started. We're going to talk about the minor and major arcana, how the deck is broken up into two parts. Then we're going to talk about elements and numerology and their role in deciphering the cards. Next, we're going to look at themes, pictures, how you can leverage the tools of storytelling and art to understand the message that you are trying to receive. And lastly, we're going to put it all together where I do a 3-card spread and you can see these tools in action. I also want to shout out the deck that I am going to be using throughout this entire demonstration. It is the giant version of the Rider White Tarot deck, and obviously you can find smaller versions of it. I'm just using a big one so you can see better. This deck is highly recommended for beginners because the visuals are pretty clear and easy to decipher, and also there's a lot of resources online that have analyzed these specific pictures. So if you're the kind of person that likes to do research before you take on a new endeavor, this deck would be perfect for you. All right, the major and the minor arcana. What are these two things? The tarot deck is an oracle deck. However, it is an oracle deck with a formula. The minor arcana is modeled after a deck of cards. So swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. So you have 4 suits, right? 1 through 10. And then, in addition to that, you have 4 court placements. You have the page, you have the knight, you have the queen, and you have the king. All of those comprise the minor arcana. Now, minor arcana represents kind of the minor life, of the details of everyday life, right? The major arcana, however, are 21 cards that each have a specific meaning. Those represent bigger life events. What do those cards look like? Well, I have some examples here. We have the moon. As you can see, it has the label right here, the moon, and then it has a number. The moon is the 18th card in the major arcana. What does the minor arcana look like? Well, you see here, we don't get a label like we do in the major arcana, but we do get a consistent motif. So you can see that we do have a number here. This is number 4. So it tells us that this is the 4th of the wand suit. Now how I know it's wands is, well, we can see the wands here. But also, this is 3, right? Very similar. You can see that wand motif carried amongst both cards. Now, tarot decks can have a plethora of different themes. I have a supernatural one. I have a zombie themed one. I have my Everyday Witch Tarot, which is my favorite deck ever. But all of them are going to follow this formula of major life arcana, which might have different names depending on the theme, and minor arcana, which will always have the 4 elements and the court cards. In my descriptions of the major and minor arcana, you probably heard me talk a lot about numbers, and I did mention some suits. However, the extra layer to this is that Every number has an individual meaning, and every suit has an element tied to it. Once you understand these, it will take your reading to a whole new level because you'll be able to synthesize all this different information into one strong message for whoever you are reading for. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the elements. When I'm talking about elements, I'm going to be talking about masculine and feminine energy. When I talk about these energies, I want to make it very clear that it has nothing to do with gender. Masculine energy is very outward action. It's being protective. It's providing things. Whenever I talk about masculine energy, I'm talking about the outer world, whereas feminine energy is about nurturing, caring. It's about interacting with nature. It's about creativity. So when I'm talking about feminine energy, I'm talking about the internal world. Everybody has a balance of both of these two things in every aspect of their life, and our elements draw from those as well. Let's talk about our masculine energies. We have fire and we have air. Now, of course, we can't talk about elements without talking about astrology. If you see fire, if you see air, you're going to automatically think of the 3 astrological signs that are correlated with those elements. Fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Air, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, right? Air energy is very intellectual. Air energy is decisive, right? So whenever you are looking at cards that have sword and therefore aired energy, a lot of the imagery is going to be action oriented. You're going to see cards that depict outcomes of action oriented things. Similarly with fire as well, we have wands. You're going to see outcomes that are also about someone working hard, someone interacting with their outer world. Next, we have the feminine elements, which are earth and water. Earth energy, you know them, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Water energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Sorry, Cancer, I almost forgot about you. Whenever you see water energy, you're going to see cups. They are about relationships. They are about emotional intensity. They are about how someone communicates their emotions as well. And they can also just be about decisions that carry a lot of weight. Similarly, we have pentacles. Pentacles are our earth energy. They're going to be about finances. They're also going to be about relationships, decisions, things that dictate our inner emotional world. If it's challenging for you to remember the facets of life each element rules, think about how the element acts in real life. Fire, it could be either small, contained, and warm a household, or it can burn down forests. Again, if you're ever struggling, bring yourself back to what you already know. Remember, tarot is a tool to help you understand yourself and other people. So your greatest tool, other than the cards in your hand, is your mind and your own experiences. We talked about elements, we talked about astrology. Let's get into numerology. Almost every card in tarot has a number associated with it, and if you come to understand numerology, then they're even easier to decipher. We have the number 4. We have the number 4. 4 represents stability. Fire is typically unstable. Fire energy is also about creativity, and it's also about passion. So when I see the 4 of Wands, I think of stability that was created through a lot of passion and a lot of hard work. And 10 is one of my favorite numbers because it's usually a completion of a cycle. So whenever I think 10 of Wands, you can see him carrying all of these heavy burdens. 10 of Wands is actually one of the 10 that is a cautionary tale of too much action, right? 10 of Swords is also another card that shows that as well. But we can see that as the result of many different actions, he has completed a cycle, and therefore this is the fruit of his labor, which is more labor. Just bringing it back to that number 10. 10 is usually the end of something or the result of something. Just think about it numerically, 10 is at the end. All right, that was a lot of information about elements and numerology. If you are still here with me and you feel like you have gained some more information about tarot and you like this kind of stuff, go ahead. Again, I'm giving you a subtle reminder because this channel is still very new and growing. Subscribe, like, hang out with me. I appreciate it. Next, this section is not as information heavy as the previous one, so hopefully it'll be a little reprieve from downloading all of what I just told you. We're going to be talking about how to read an image, which is such a great tool to fall back on for new readers. So let's say we're in a reading, we're 5 cards deep, and we're pulling out more, and we just are trying to connect the dots with elements and numerology, and trying to remember what major arcana means and minor arcana means, and you feel like you're losing the person you're reading for, and you're just stressed out, and you just need to take a breather. Well, that's your first step. Take a breather. Second step is pause, right? Again, this is probably the second or third time I've said this in this video, but you are your greatest resource when it comes to reading tarot. So, using your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you're going to take a look at this card and tell me, what do you see? What is your eye first drawn to? Is it the boat that these people are sitting on? Is it the swords that are stuck in the boat? Is it the place that they are headed to? What first draws your eye? What's the second thing that draws your eye? What's the third thing? And once you start looking at the image, you realize that it's just telling a story. Tarot is the Fool's journey, right? The Fool is the first in the major arcana. And if you would like a video on the major arcana, I would love to do that. But it's just a journey told through pictures, okay? And this picture in particular, whenever I see it, I know now when it comes out in a deck, because I've seen it several times, that it means moving on. However, a person can get to that because we know what a boat represents. We know what that stick he's using to row it means. We know that these people might be under some stress because they're under a blanket right now. And we know that they're going somewhere different than they were before, right? All of that context comes from your own brain, your own thoughts, your own experiences, right? Let's do another one. Quicker this time. We have 3 of Cups. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. What's the first thing you notice? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well, for me, it's always the cups, right? We see the cups. And then we see 3 different people dancing, celebrating. So 3 cups means, and then moreover, you see a bunch of fruit, maybe fruits of their labor all around them. So they're dancing, they're happy. It could be a party, it could be a celebration. It could, depending on the context of the reading, it could be 3 aspects of your personality reuniting, right? Again, that's where this is just a tool to help you put everything into context. Last but not least, we're gonna put everything together and we're gonna do a little 3-card spread. Now, 3-card spreads, we can get into spreads in another video, but we're gonna do past, present, and future in this video. 3-card spreads are great if you want just a quick little answer to something. They're great if you have pulled out 16 cards and still can't understand the message. So we can also get into reading methods as well. There's a lot with tarot you can talk about, but I like to just kind of shuffle the cards until one pops out. Oh my goodness. So let's see what pops out. Another way, I used to spread the cards out all the way and do it that way. But, oh, here, I'll take that one. Okay, so past is judgment. Past is judgment. Again, ooh. Present is justice. Okay, so talking about major and minor arcanas, we have 2 major arcanas on the board, and then we have future, which is the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles. Let's break this reading down based off of the 3 categories that we had. Okay, so our first step is major arcana. So we have 2 out of 3 major arcana. So that means that this reading is going to be about the bigger life events, not so much about the minute everyday details, right? And then we add our extra layer of elements and numerology. We see that Pentacles, like I said, are about relationships. They're about hard work. They're about finances. And it's also a feminine energy. We didn't get into this, but major arcana also has feminine and masculine energies as well as astrological signs attached to them, things like that. But for time's sake, we know that the number 11 is a double 1. So that is after 10, so after a major completion. So next, let's just read the pictures. Judgment, we all know what that means. It means that some kind of conclusion of things. Justice, we also know that that is also a conclusion of things. And then we have, and then in looking at these pictures, we can see that there's a very discerning energy in Justice, and then there's a very calm energy in Nine of Pentacles. And in Judgment, there was someone looking on a bunch of people, right? So if I'm synthesizing all of this information together and reading for the person in front of me, I would say that in the past, because again, we're focusing on our placement, in the past, there was a lot of judgment. Maybe this person is very critical of themselves. In order to get where they need to go, they felt like they had to judge and nitpick at every single one of their movements to make sure that they were moving correctly. But now, currently, they're understanding that they're getting retribution for all of the hard work that they've done in the past, right? All of that nitpicking, while it was a lot, has turned them into a very discerning person, a very discerning character. And this person right now in the present is very much seeking out justice for themselves. And then we have Nine of Pentacles, which is very calm. They're surrounded by the fruits of their labor. They're chill. So I would say that the whole message of this is all the hard work you are doing is going to pay off. You are moving into the next phase of your life where you are able to enjoy things more, sit in that feminine, creative, nurturing energy because of the hard work that you put in the past. We've learned a lot today. And at the end, I think my answer to how do you read tarot still stands. You just do it, right? It's a lot of trial and error. It has to be something that you genuinely love. Something I love about tarot is exactly what I've said several times throughout this video, is that it helps you understand yourself and other people. To gain more knowledge about who you are as a person, how you want to move throughout the world, and how you can help other people. I am very open to doing more tarot videos, more astrology videos, more numerology videos. I've collected a lot of information throughout my time. Oh my gosh, how old am I now? I've been actively reading tarot for close to 10 years. Yeah, I've been actively reading tarot for people for like 7 or 8 years, and have also been doing people's astrological charts in that time. So I have a lot of knowledge, and I love chatting with people and helping them, again, discover more about themselves and more about the art of reading tarot. So if you like this kind of video, go ahead and subscribe. My channel is an amalgamation of me. So you'll see tarot videos, you'll see me cooking, you'll see me doing watercoloring, you'll see me customizing my phone. And I also have another channel that's for ASMR because I love ASMR. So if you liked hanging out with me, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and join our community. I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of light.